Hi, this is Stephanie with SDC Reads for You, and I want to invite you to join me tonight while I create a centerpiece. I found this super cute butterfly stand at home. It was normally $24.99 and it was 75% off, so I got it for $4.99. Really excited about that. Then I also have a 10-inch foam. This is the wet foam, about 1.5 inches thick. So I've got that I'll be using. I have some of the all-purpose moss mat. This is the one that you cut to size. So I'm using some of that. I've already cut those pieces, so I'm gonna knock that out of the way. I will need my wire cutters tonight, scissors, E6000 low odor, my glue gun, backup glue sticks, and florals. So these florals are all from Amazon that I'll be using tonight. So the first thing I'm gonna do as I get started is go ahead and cut off this lovely tag. Get that tossed away. And I do want my centerpiece to be both hot glued and glued down with E6000. I don't want it to go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make an imprint of this on the foam. So just by pushing it down, so you can see, made an imprint of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over to the side. I am going to grab some E6000 first, and I'm just going to put that along the edge here, just in spots, so that I can follow up with hot glue. That's going to give it that instant stick. And this E6000 has been well used, so I'm having to pry it open or make sure it's still flowing. So bear with me while I do that, get that started. And I'm just gonna, again, go around the edge and put some of this E6000 on here. So we'll just see. I'm not doing it everywhere because I need to put hot glue in here as well. But I do want to make sure that I've got enough on the sides and the bottom, the top and bottom, to stick. Here it goes again. It wants me to unclog it. Still haven't figured out how to make sure this is always good to go. So here I have this going. Whoop. Okay, so I've got my E6000 down. And next I'm going to come through with hot glue and go around the edges, not on top of the E6000, but in other places. Not worried about this like showing up or anything, because I'm going to have the moss over it. So let's get this all down. And I've already made my imprint, so I know exactly where I'm going to put this back. All right, so I've got it kind of in that little groove, and I'm going to go around here with some more glue just on the outside, and this glue gun is just going to help me with that permanent fit so it sticks fast. And this is a one-sided centerpiece, meaning that it's going to be facing one direction. The back of it is not going to be so much for show. It's just kind of there. So the next thing I want to do, I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 around before I put this moss down. It does have an adhesive back. But I still want to and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So I've cut it into pieces, but of course I can cut it some more to shape it. So once you take the mat off the back, it's kind of got a netting back here. So it's got a netting, and you can just kind of cut this however you want to do it. So I'm gonna actually leave that on there for a second. I'm gonna cut this in half so that I can go through the middle and put this down. I'm doing this because my florals aren't gonna come all the way up, right? So I wanna make sure that you're not seeing this silver base. So I'm just getting this all set up. And even though it's a mat, it still makes a mess with the little moss pieces coming off. You'll see them here and there and everywhere. So you'll still want to kind of clean up once you've done that. Going into some little smaller pieces to go around the base. And the little corners and stuff down here, I'm not as worried about because, of course, the florals are going to cover that up. Okay, so I've got this on. And I am going to clean up my little area here real quick. I'll move this off to the side. And I am going to start looking at my floral. So these boxes that come from Amazon always come with the little wire floral sticks to attach to your flowers. And so I am actually going to use these. I want to make sure that all of my flowers have a nice size piece of the floral. I am going to be cutting this because of course I don't need it this long, but I do want it to be able to stick through. So I'm gonna need to make sure I cut it shorter than the depth of the foam so that it's not sticking out. And then I get to use a lot of these, or one for a lot of flowers. So I am just gonna stick these through. The theme, excuse me, the theme for this is, or the color scheme for this are mauves and, burgundies and pinks. So that is what you will see all through here. I think this particular box came with, I want to say 30 pieces. And so I have all of those, plus I pulled some from another box. So the ones that already have stems on them came from a different kit. But it's all good. You mix and match your colors. So big things just to make sure you've got things where you need them to be. And this one is just a little too long for what I need to do for the next bunch of flowers. So I will cut that off. And this is such a quick and easy project. It does not take long to get these florals in. So you don't have to worry about that, but it's really pretty. So Sometimes people will glue these in. I am not going to glue these in. My client would like the option to change these out, the flowers out. So I'm not going to glue these in, but if this were going to be a permanent centerpiece as far as the colors are concerned, then I would go ahead and glue them in. If this is your first time watching me, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to hear from you. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that as well. And you can also follow me on Facebook and TikTok. My name in both of those places is also SDC Wreaths for You. So please feel free to join the community. I'd love to share with you. I try to do tutorials once a week at least. Sometimes I get more, sometimes I get less, but I really try to at least get one in every week. So you see we've got some really pretty colors, different shades in here. This client, her accent wall is burgundy, or she's going to be painting it burgundy. So that's why we're going with this color scheme. And we will get all of these done. I think the foam, the floral foam I got from Amazon. I know I did. I got it from Amazon. It, I don't remember how much it was, but it comes with 6 of these 10-inch floral foams, which is nice because I always have multiple projects going on. It even came with some little greenery that I'll be adding here and there. And getting all of these on. Then I'm gonna show you, there was a part that I did beforehand that I want to make sure you know about once I get all of these done. And they also come with some little floral like leaves, but there's not enough for every flower, so I'm just gonna kind of pick and choose where I put these. So that's why I didn't put them on just yet. So I'm gonna finish getting these done. Before we move on. So if you would, let me know where you are watching from. I'd like to know that as well. So not just whether or not you're a first time or returning watcher. I'd like to also know where you're watching from. So please let me know that in the comments. These are so pretty. These little flowers are so, they feel and look so real. So I've done a bunch of these designs over time, and I love the kits that come already, you know, with the various flowers from Amazon. I just have a few more to go because the rest of these were already from a different grouping of flowers, so they have a different stem base and they are good to go. And you will see I have plenty of these left over, and I save them because I can use them for other projects. So I can always get away with only using what I need for the projects that I'm doing. And then it came with this one little set of berries. That was the one thing I was like, what? Just one? But I'll use it. I'll find somewhere for it to go. It's just weird that it was only one. would have liked to have had like 4 at least. Okay, so I've got all of these done. So I can move this over to the side out of the way. And it came with a little branch of greenery, but there was like nothing on it. But all of these greeneries, leaves and stuff, and these little flowers were part of the kit. So I just went ahead and put these together. This is going to be on the back side of my design because I want to make sure that as you look through the butterflies, you have something to see. So I'm going to put these in there. So I went ahead with some eucalyptus, some fern leaves, and just some peonies and a rose that I put in here. So 2 roses actually. So of course this is too long to go through the base, and I don't want to have it sticking out too far. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. And then I got these 2 pieces, I think from Michael's when they were having their sale. I'm going to use these as well in the background. So I'm going to cut these down. I have 2 of these. Very thick, obviously, but that's good. Go, go, go. All right. Popped off over there. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to pull this back over to the center, and I am going to actually move these flowers out so that you can see what I'm doing a little better. So again, this is the back. I am going to slide this in, and I've got some moss back here that I need to actually be able to go through. So I'm gonna use, these are some little pliers that I use when I'm doing jewelry or needing to squeeze something together really small, but they also make really good holes. So I'm going to use that to put a hole in through this moss so that I can slide this in and get that in there. Okay. And then on either side of that, I'm going to go ahead in with these other 2 pieces of greenery so that they are kind of in the background. All right, so you can see something through the butterflies, right? It's not just going to be a blank space. So that said, as I turn this to the side a little bit, I'm going to start in the front. And of course, you want to try to balance things out with your colors and the shapes of your flowers, the sizes of your flowers. So like this flower and this flower, there's only one of each of these. So I'm going to put them on opposite ends, just so that you can see, you can see them. They're there, okay? So I'm gonna put those on opposite ends. And then there's a bunch of other different designs and shades of everything. So I'm just gonna kind of go through and begin to fill this in. And I'm gonna make sure that I get some flowers across in the front because of course we don't want to leave that just wide open, right? So it's gonna go, they're gonna be going all the way around in different colors, different textures, different shades. So let's go. And there's, oops, I forgot to do this one. Let me grab a piece for this one. So there's really no rhyme or reason other than balance when you're doing something like this. So, and You'll notice well, maybe you can't notice, but I'm doing these kind of at an angle. They're not actually going in straight down. And I'm gonna get some of these other pinks in here. From the other flowers that I had. And just go all the way around. And I love these colors. I love the shades of, different shades of pink and burgundy. And I'm not going to forget putting in some little greenery here and there. And I've got some of these little taller ones that I'm gonna actually put in on the side. Now I'm putting them in at an angle. They're gonna slide through, but I wanted to make sure I have them kind of standing up. I have two of these. So I'm gonna come over on the other side and put that one in. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this one off. Kind of get those going. And then I'll be coming around the back. And no, you won't be able to see everything. The back is not the prominent feature, but you do want to at least have some coverage going around, just in case somebody decides they want to look back there. You don't want it to be empty. So these are just going in on the side over here. Let's see, I'm gonna pull this one in over this way. So I have one more of these that I want to, these, it's this one. I'm gonna put over there. Brown kind of color here. On the side. And I've got more of these. These are, oh my gosh. I am drawing blank on this flower. I can't remember. But anyway, I love them. I like the fullness of them. They really do kind of bring it all together. I'm gonna cut this off a little bit. I think I have a couple of these. So these are in the back. Grab this one. And I will turn this around here in a second so you can see what I'm doing back here. So I'm still kind of coming through with different florals and wanting to make sure that I have as much of this space covered as possible. You don't want to have really any blank open spaces if you can help it. So you go back over here. And then some of these that are going to kind of be on the top, I am going to use the leaves for. So you just slide it up the stem and go ahead and stick those in to your design. So I'm gonna come back over here, grab this, put this on the stem. And then it's gonna it's going in kind of at an angle, and then when I get it in, I push it over so that it ends up sitting up on top like that. So I come back through with some of these smaller ones to fill in some spaces that I can feel. I want to get a pink, I think, over here. Grab that and put this in over on this side. Sorry, y'all, I'm moving it all around. I want to make sure I'm looking at all of my little empty spaces and trying to fill those in. I've got a couple of these that I think I am going to try to get in here in the front. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta turn this around so I can get up in here. Bring that down. And I like these two, these little kind of sunflowery ones. I need a couple more roses back here to fill in. And again, when you stick these in, you are gonna still angle your flower. And I have that second little set of like, so I'll put it back here. Kind of in the same place as the front. All right, so I've got just a few more. I'm just again looking for any blank spaces. I've got some spaces back here that I can do some taller things. Then I might slide a couple roses in because I can bend these. So let me see how this is gonna go. so I can see better. Looking around, I've got 3 flowers left and these little berries that I said I was going to get in here somewhere. So let me slide those in right there. I am get a few flowers over here. A darker one here. Okay. I've got everything in here, save one flower. And I'm looking to see if there's somewhere it should go, or if this will make it into another design one day. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it in as just one. Alright guys, I think I am finished. I might switch 2 of these out real quick back here. There we go. Alright, so this is the design. Very lightweight. And very pretty. So here's the centerpiece. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, again, follow me on Facebook, SDC Reads For You. Also, subscribe on YouTube if you have not done that yet. Let me know that you're here, whether you're a first time or returning visitor. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Have a great evening, everybody. SDC Reads For You, signing out.